Good evening, everybody, whoever's listening at this time. I hope you're doing well. I hope, God is with you. I don't know what I'm saying. I don't
That's
know
just
where I wanted that to go. Anyway,
absolutely.
Yami over
not.
here is stupid over logos, so we're just gonna, expose that for a little bit. It's more of a learning lesson for everybody's listening, for everybody who is listening, just so that you don't, make stupid comments like this, right? So, if you're gonna watch this, if you're watching this right now, or if you manage to look at like the thumbnail or whatever, you're gonna see that, there's been a completely different image. It's completely new. It's striking. It's visually amazing. Some would say even like godlike, right? I wouldn't, but I did make it. So I guess, does that make me God? I don't know. Maybe what?
Can you just get to the topic, please? This is
so
a
the topic.
This is a
So what's the
drive-through
topic?
podcast, man.
What's the topic? So
Okay.
the topic is, what are logos about, really? And like, what's a good logo? What makes a good logo?
You brought up the argument that Apple's.
Okay. Yeah. Here's the thing.
You told me that Apple's logo was ironic and what did you use?
I said ironic and interesting. It's like unique. Apple's logo is unique, right? It's more interesting than what Microsoft does. It's more like fashionable and everything. And the reason why this is coming up is because Yami and I are currently in the design process of something that's related to this, right? We're trying to make a logo that's not this. And I insulted Nike. I said that Nike looks like boring and like ultra professional. Yami got like triggered or something. What was that? Do you work for them? I don't understand. Do they employ your people? What's going on?
But you're bashing on the fact that they're boring. You're saying that the simplicity of their logo, which you have condescendingly referred to it as a check mark, and I was like, what a fucking hypocrite. Apple
Not
is a fucking
condescendingly,
Apple.
by the way, just describing it. It is literally just a check mark.
I detected a hint of condescension.
You can't detect anything through text, you moron. These are words.
Oh my god.
No. Oh, what's your point? Okay, yeah. So you're saying that. It's.
No, you said that. Okay, here's what you said via a text conversation.
Sure.
You said Apple in the context of software works really well, and I said that's cap. That's bullshit. And you said the reason you gave for it was that it was ironic and unique. First off, what kind of fucking moron says that the Apple logo is ironic? What the hell is ironic about the Apple logo?
Okay, maybe I'm using the wrong word.
What are you on about?
The feeling is the right feeling, okay?
What feeling is that?
Right, hold on.
What are you serving,
Microsoft's logo.
produce?
What?
What are you serving? It's a fucking apple.
No. If they were selling produce, it wouldn't be ironic. But they're not selling produce. They're selling like computers. That's why it's interesting. So
That's
you
not
read
interesting
Apple,
at all.
What? Why
That's
not?
That's not interesting at all.
Wait, can we argue about whether something's interesting or not? I feel like
yes. Apple's logo is not
say the
interesting
word
at
for
all.
me. Wait,
interesting.
What do you say? You're saying interesting?
Yes.
Wait, okay. So you take a loan out at a bank. What do you get paid every single year?
Interest.
You say interest.
Yes.
But then, when you find something
Are you really
appealing-
Are you really hounding me for the pronunciation of the word interesting? You can say it either way, interesting and interesting. We're not gonna spend precious time. We're not gonna spend.
Okay, you know what? I've been. I'm gonna try to build like one of
You
those
will not
defenses that
vilify me
lawyers
for
do.
this shit. You will not vilify and vilify me
you
for
can
this
say
shit.
you can say tomato and you can say tomato.
We're not.
Right?
We're
Both
not
of
going to
those
talk about this.
Are fine.
I am not
I'm
going
saying,
to address
here's,
this.
Here's
I'm
my
not
point.
going to address this.
Both of those are fine. Both of those are fine. But one of them makes you sound like a moron.
It doesn't. That's not it.
And so my contention right now is that
You sound like a
say
buffoon.
interesting. Shut up. You can say interesting or you can say interesting. And if you say the second one, you sound like a moron. And
What?
if you sound like a moron about one thing, then how can I trust your opinion about
Oh,
anything
fuck off.
else?
Oh, fuck off, you ignoramus. What the fuck is that logic?
Wow.
What the fuck is that logic?
Wow, I feel like a regular old McCarthyist over here. This
Oh
is
my
kinda fun.
fucking god. Oh my fucking
Dude,
god.
that's like an addictive thing to do. You can just
You can set-
eviscerate someone.
You have set a very dangerous precedent because now you're just gonna assume that every single thing that I say is completely wrong and unwarranted.
As if I wasn't doing that before.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Where are we? What are we talking about? I mean, Apple's
logo.
Okay.
Apple's logo is fucking stupid. It's stupid.
Okay, Apple is like. So you know what Microsoft stands for, right?
Bill Gates' penis? Is that what it is?
No, that's real funny. But you know what it stands for, right? Like it actually stands. Like how the name come about?
No, absolutely
It was
not.
like it was microchip software. Microchip or micro? I think microchip sounds right, but it was
Okay.
like. So literally, they just took them together, right?
See, that makes sense.
Yeah, but it's not okay, yeah, whatever. I'll just keep going through tech companies that I can think of. Intel, same thing, right? The Intel chip.
Okay.
What other tech companies do you know of? Like hardware companies? Samsung, I'm not sure what's up
Like,
with them.
I can think
They're
of
foreign.
software companies like Cisco.
Cisco would be like shoot, what is that? Is that like system computation or something?
Is Oracle a software company?
Oracle's a software company.
Okay,
That's
yeah,
based
yeah.
on the database name. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm saying that like a lot of these companies, which are perfectly fine, it's perfectly fine to have a name like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just less like the story behind why Apple has the name Apple is because like Steve Jobs and all the sort of engineers that were working then they were all working under the sort of like they didn't really have a name for their company, right? It was just a bunch of people.
Yeah.
And so then Steve Jobs said, I'm just going to name it Apple. By the end of the day, if no one comes to me with a new name. And he picked apples because...
Is that canon? Is that actually
No, because
true?
he was on like a fruitarian diet, like apples. So he was just eating apples and like fruits at that time.
Uh-huh.
And this is the best thing of that argument with Yami, where like...
Oh, for
where-
fuck's sake.
No, it's completely fine. I didn't actually say anything. So
Okay.
this is the best part where he's not going to look any of this up afterwards, so he's never going to know if I'm telling the truth or not. But I am. So Steve Jobs...
Okay, here's the thing.
Mhm.
I've heard various stories about the interpretations about the origins of the name Apple. I've heard a whisper. I don't know where I saw this, but apparently the story about. How about you shut the fuck up, okay?
I was just using my recorder to say a whisper. It was kind of cool. Anyway, go ahead.
You're not cool.
Shut up. That's so mean.
Oh my god.
Okay. All right.
You sound so defeated. Just abject desolation.
Oh my god, I remember in 9th grade, like, I was just messing
Oh my
around
God.
with my friends, and then someone was like, you're not cool, what's my name, Kane? Like, she just said that to me, and I was like, oh my god, that was so mean. Anyway,
Oh my-
what are you saying?
Oh my god. Yeah. So, I have heard contradictions against that whole fruitarian story.
Okay.
I don't know what the alternative. I don't
Story
remember.
is.
I don't remember the alternative story that was brought up, but
Sure.
I have heard that the story about the origin of Apple that appears very popular, and
Mhm.
pretty much set in the mythology of Apple's origin is actually quite
Yeah.
false, allegedly, apparently.
How convenient is it that you can contradict what I'm saying and offer no counter explanation? Is that just how your mind works?
Because my argument in this case is that you
No,
argue.
I think I think that's completely fair.
No. Silence. Silence. I
What are
sound
you,
so
Joffrey?
abusive.
Shut up.
I sound so abusive. I sound so abusive. Oh my god.
No abusive person would actually act like that. You understand? I mean, we're not going to talk. That can be an episode, I guess, but like that's
Oh my god.
you can't. You're
Oh
not going to be
jeez.
overtly. No abusive person would overtly say silence. That's like a cartoon character.
Silence. But anyway, my argument was you argued, you contended, you vilified Nike by saying that it was professional. You made fun of the
just
fact that
learned a
it
few
looked,
words.
it looked professional. Okay, well, that was completely facetious. What the fuck, man? You're just being
Facetious? Facetious? Wait, how's it facetious?
Facetious means unwarranted. I can.
What?
Oh, you want?
Does
Oh,
it?
that.
Wait,
that
does it?
That look of bewilderment. Oh
No.
no.
Wait. I'm searching this up because I don't trust you with your fingers. I don't know what that's supposed to. Is that stereotype? No, it's not. Anyway, what's the word? Facetious. Searching it up in the day. Treating serious issues with deliberately inappropriate humor. Flippant. Flip, glib, frivolous, tongue-in-cheek, and waggish. Waggish is a good word. Whimsical, jokey, jesting, jocular, playful, roguish, impish, teasing, arch, mischievous, puckish, in fun, witty, amusing, funny, droll, comic,
Okay,
comic,
you can stop. You can
comical, lighthearted. What did you say it meant? What did you say it meant?
I might have been thinking about a different word. I apologize.
No. What did you
I
say
apologize.
it meant,
I apologize. I said it meant unwarranted.
though?
I was gonna
see.
say that
And
I was gonna say that you're being incredibly flippant though. Incredibly flippant.
flippant. Okay,
Yes.
but how? How?
Cause you keep. Wait. What did you say before I said that? I completely
Do you see the
forgot.
tactic that I'm using? Do you see
I
how this
completely
works
forgot.
so well?
I completely forgot.
Dude, this is such a Trumpian thing that I'm doing right now. Every single thing that you say, I'm not arguing with what you're saying. I'm arguing with like some weird tangent of like an extrapolate. No wonder he's president, honestly. He's figured out.
You're conversationally belligerent.
That's a good word.
Exactly.
And I'm very proud of you for knowing that.
Exactly.
Wait,
what?
You
okay,
exceeded
fuck
my
you.
expectations.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Anyway, I'm saying that Nike is a great company and their logo makes sense. Apple's logo doesn't make any goddamn sense. The only reason why
No, I'm not
the only
disagreeing
reason
with
why the
that.
logo makes any sense is because they're so goddamn popular.
Wait. I'm going to argue with that a little bit. Why does Nike's logo make more sense than Apple's logo?
Nike's basis of their logo is based. Well, their name first off just comes from the Greek or the Roman. Yes, the Roman.
I'm not
god of
asking about the
victory.
name, but I'm asking about the logo.
Why does it make more sense than Apple?
Why does a check mark make more sense than an apple?
Because Apple's logo literally means just do it.
Apple's logo means just do it?
Nike's motto means just
What are
do
you
it.
saying? Wait,
No,
say
no,
it
no.
again?
Jody, Nike's motto means just do it.
No.
There's an-
That's
No,
different.
Let me fucking speak so I can lead into the fucking argument. You fucking Trumpy. Oh, I'm kidding.
I would, but every single time I try to do that, it doesn't lead anywhere. But yeah, go ahead.
I will shove my fucking fist up your ass. You know what? Is that what you want?
You can't even reach me.
I can't reach you. You are literally 2,000 miles away. We are recording this on a Zoom. Oh.
Oh no, they know. Okay, yeah.
They know. Okay. So here's what I'm saying. When you hear the motto, just do it, it's a statement of affirmation. It's a statement of just go for it. A check mark.
I'm not asking about the motto though, but the
No,
sorry.
but
Check mark. Go ahead.
A check mark insinuates, it implies a sense of affirmation. Like, oh, you did it.
That's interesting. Okay.
My thing is, I don't know the complete history of Nike's logo. If I'm to be honest with you, I would say though it would make more sense if I was a creator that they had like they probably had like a different logo as most companies do.
Mm.
But then after they had a motto, they were like, oh, let's change this.
No. No, I think it's actually the opposite. I think the story of that logo is that it was like
Oh, so now you're the historian then. Now you
no,
know
no, no, no,
everything
no.
about
Because
Nike.
because I remember reading about this because it was a woman that had designed this logo, and instead of
Oh,
like
I
getting,
heard. Oh yeah. You're
instead
right.
of getting
You're right.
shares of the company, she just
Uh-huh.
got like a check for like $350 or something.
Mm-hmm.
And so then she got that, and that was like her sort of commission
royalty
on
check?
the logo.
Oh, no.
Not even a royalty check. It was a one-time thing because at that time
Wait, are
Nike
you
wasn't
serious?
like a huge company.
I
Yeah,
know. Wait,
she
I know.
lost
I know,
out on that deal.
I knew she designed the thing, but I didn't know it was a one time thing. I didn't know they just
Dude,
flat
you
out
know
paid
there was a third co-founder of Apple, by the way, that like left when Apple was like a $10 million company. Like he just flat out left and sold his shares. He owned like 30% of the company.
Oh, that fucking idiot. That
So-
fucking
so-
idiot.
He didn't know, but think about it, right? Like if he was if he kept it, he'd be worth like what? 300 billion? That doesn't make any sense.
To be
too
honest though,
Math.
Nike's stock exploded when they signed Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was literally the catalyst for a lot of Nike's early success. Because here's the thing.
How did they even get to sign him?
Because when in his rookie, they signed it. I believe they signed.
They
it
signed him in his rookie days.
Rookie
That's
year.
smart.
Because here's the thing, back then basketball players only wore Converse.
Oh, no wonder he's worth like 1.2 billion, or he's
Yeah.
worth 2 billion.
Exactly. Originally, apparently Michael Jordan originally wanted to sign with it was either Puma or Adidas,
Mm-hmm.
but then he didn't want to sign with Nike. But then his father was like, go to Nike and see what they have to offer you. And then by the end of the day, he just ended up signing with them.
That's
But anyway,
fascinating.
Wait,
you saw Kanye's deal, by the way, the 10-year like Gap deal that he has with them.
Is this with Adidas or Nike? 'Cause
No,
I know he
Kanye
makes-
West recently signed a 10-year deal with Gap to like start selling clothes at like a low price.
Gap.
Dude, you have no idea how cool my mind is like it's so cool.
Kanye West and Gap.
The reason why it's Gap is because not the reason, but the reason why it's cool is like for the longest time he always talked about wanting to go back to Gap because that's where he like worked as like a 18-year-old
actually?
like yeah,
Did he
that's what he
wait,
did
did he-
as like his job. Yeah,
I know
yeah.
he worked at a retail
He
store, but
references
I didn't-
this in like his songs and stuff, spaceships and everything, like from his like first album. Gap is like
Are you sure
there.
it was Gap? I thought it was somewhere
yeah,
else.
yeah. No, it's Gap. Yeah. Look at me,
Okay.
I'm a rap expert, man.
Okay, continue.
So yeah, I mean that's why the whole thing is kind of cool. Anyway,
Apple's logo is fucking.
okay.
Apple's logo is
Here's the
fucking
thing about
stupid.
this. Here's the thing about this. Nike's logo, I'm gonna argue, is not as perfect as it can be, as you're sort of contending, and I don't think you're going to disagree with me that
Are
much.
you saying that the idea of it or the actual presentation of the logo?
No,
the
because I agree
Which one?
with your.
Which one?
I agree with your interpretation of the logo. I think that's perfect for the company. I think it works really well. The reason why I don't think overall though it is a perfect logo, right,
Mhm.
by itself is because you have to justify it, right? Like what are the best logos? What's the best logo you can think of in your mind? I'm trying to think of the best one.
Nike.
It's not
Nike.
Apple.
Nike.
No, to
Tesla.
me it's Disney.
Nike.
Disney
Tesla.
and Tesla. Easy.
What's
Nike's-
Disney logo? See, but here's the thing though.
Disney's logo
weird.
is Mickey Mouse's head.
No. Is it though, or is it the castle, or is it the actual
it's-
font itself? Disney has so many different logos. There are so many
You
different
can't-
Disney
Wait, a
tropes.
font can't be a logo.
No, the font is iconic as fuck. If you see that font anywhere, then you know it's Disney.
Ah,
The
that's a good
castle.
point.
See, Disney doesn't have just one logo. Mickey is a classic poster child of Disney, and there's no doubt about that. But there's so many different Disney elements, Disney symbols, that it's hard to pinpoint what exactly is the logo.
No, that's fair. That's
Tesla is a perfect.
Tesla's
example.
pretty good. Yeah, it's just
Tesla's
a T.
great.
It works
It's
really
not even
well.
it's not even like a regular T. It's a very warped T. There's like a little hitch at the
Yeah.
there's like it's built in two sections. One's like a
Amazon's
little
logo is pretty good.
It's a little smile thing, right?
No, that's what they've recently done that's what they've done recently to distract you from like the worker conditions.
That's
Like
terrible.
we're all happy.
That's what they put on the fucking trucks.
Like we're all
That's what they
happy,
put.
but we have no money. Like it's all that kind of thing.
Our trucks have dead bodies inside them, but it's all happy.
No, it's like an A with like an arrow under it that goes from like whoop, you know?
Yeah, the
So
happy face.
it's like oh no, but it's like an A. There's no like smiling thing. It's like
is it
there are no
actually just an
eyes.
arrow? The fuck?
It's just an arrow. The point of it is that if you see it in its full form, it's Amazon from A to Z. The arrow goes from A to Z in the thing.
Uh-huh.
So it's like we sell everything from A to Z.
Oh. See, I never saw that. Huh. I always assumed that the arrow just underlined the entire word, not just from A to Z. Huh. Didn't know that. Word.
The reason why I really like Apple's logo, this is where I'm going to be absolutely serious, is because it's
Oh,
so
so you weren't
different.
serious before.
No, I was making a lot of jokes, right?
So clearly
it's a
you don't
resolution.
you don't take things seriously in life, huh?
No, because
So
I'm
how-
usually correct.
so-
I don't have to
so-
prove myself to
so
morons
how can I
like you.
assume?
I was
How can I
about
trust
to be,
you? How can I
about
trust
to be
you?
civil. I was about to be civil.
How can I trust you to be
Okay.
serious right now then when you're just a pathological liar?
Fine. You know what? Don't trust me at all. I'm going to tell you just what I want you to hear, and then take that as you may. What I like about Apple's logo and what I like about some logos is that it's different enough. It's like so different from like other hardware and software companies that like play it by the book. Like they do very regular kind of logos and things that make a lot of sense.
What?
Microchip software. Look at this. Microchip software, Oracle database, Cisco information, Intel chip. All of these things, they make sense, right?
They don't.
But, like-
Cisco is a bunch of lines. Cisco is just a bunch of lines. Check the no. Search up the Cisco logo. It doesn't make any goddamn sense for Cisco. It doesn't.
Well, I'm talking about names. I'm talking about names. I'm not talking about logos. Just
We've been talking about the logo this whole entire time.
Shut up. I'm talking about right now. This whole conversation is about branding. Okay?
Oh my
like,
god.
It's just
Oh
a
my
confusing
God.
concept.
Look at you.
All right?
You're changing the fucking narrative.
Yeah. It's completely fine. So. Yeah. Shut up. Okay, so like,
This conversation has quickly derailed into fucking chaos.
No, but what I mean is that like by being so different, you can't compare Apple to other companies as easily.
Yes,
right?
because it's so successful.
No, even at the beginning, because their branding was all like different. Because like their motto or slogan was "Think Different." Their logo was an apple, right?
A
Whereas,
rainbow
like,
apple, yeah.
Right. Whereas other companies were doing like, you know, like Microsoft was like 4 colors in like these round squares. I don't know.
You're disparaging the Microsoft logo, even though it's iconic.
I'm not disparaging the logo. I'm saying that like the logo is because the logo is iconic, right? And because the logo is like this constant kind of like sturdy thing, which is good. Like that works for
Okay.
that enterprise. For Apple, where it wants to define itself as like against, you know, it works in that way. Like this whole conversation, by the way, for anyone who's listening, it came out. Yeah. This conversation came out just from Yami and I talking about a logo that we were sort of passing around, right? And we were comparing it to other clothing companies. That's what we're kind of doing. And like Supreme's logo, I feel like is this, I used pretentious, which is a disparaging word, but like it's a very like luxurious kind of font, luxurious kind of thing, right? I feel that's not.
There's nothing luxurious about the word Supreme.
Okay. What?
About the word Supreme, the font of Supreme, there's nothing luxurious about it.
There's nothing luxurious about the word Supreme?
No, sorry. The font, the actual, I meant like I was referring to the font itself.
Okay,
Because you're-
the font, that's fair. The font is
in all seriousness, Supreme, the actual font itself is not all that intricate. It's a very simple font, to be honest with you. Kind of basic.
Maybe
in a lot of
simple
ways.
is it. Maybe simple makes more sense than doing anything that is intricate and like works with your brand and like is super complex. Because you want something that's more memorable.
I mean, that's
Maybe
what.
that's what you're aiming for.
See, I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's true though, because Apple's old logo was definitely not very simple. It had a lot of color in
No,
it.
it was not.
Microsoft logo. I mean, Microsoft has basically just like flattened out their whole entire logo.
I feel like both these companies made better choices now.
You think?
Right? I feel like Apple's logo right now is way better than its previous one.
I mean, it definitely looks cleaner, but I don't know if it's better.
Why do you say that? Why is clean not better?
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's. You could definitely argue that it looks cleaner, and I agree that it is. But to suggest that just because it looks cleaner, that it's better, I don't know if I really believe that. To be honest with you.
Okay, sure. You think it's like
Because
too
to be honest,
simple?
because here's the thing. I loved Apple's old logo. I mean, I wasn't around for Apple's old logo, to be honest with you, because I wasn't born yet.
Sure. Yeah.
But I've seen pictures of Apple's old logo before, and I personally like it a lot. I really do.
I think what I don't know, what I sort of see in like a logo and a brand, like what I think is most valuable is like in a logo, if you can sort of draw it yourself, right? This is going to sound weird, but I feel like
Okay.
if you can draw a logo yourself, if a consumer can sort of see a logo and it's immediately stuck in their head, then that kind of works because regardless of how pretty a logo is, a logo doesn't mean anything if a person can look at it and then immediately forget it, right? Because a logo is ultimately just signaling a brand, and it's all about like, you know, this is us. You sort of define everything in that one sort of sentence or that one picture. And so I guess I don't know. I think that like it Apple's logo works in that way because it's like it's a fruit, and so you don't expect that to represent a computer company, and so that difference is so it's like jarring enough for you to like remember it. Nike's logo, you know, people love check marks, they use them all the time, and so I think that like no, but like the affirmation for victory thing, that works super well too. I was aware of the like Greek goddess part, but I think that itself isn't great because you have to have some sort of knowledge of like, you know, like mythology to sort of get the reference, but like the check mark works really well because once you see it, you're like, oh yeah, okay, it worked out fine.
It just looks clean.
Perfect.
It honestly just looks
Exactly.
very clean.
Exactly.
It looks very clean. It's modern. It looks modern. It looks. Honestly, a lot of the times these companies revamp their logos in order to sort of catch up with the times. I mean, look at Google. Google's old logo, the font of the word Google is seemingly archaic compared to now. Google's logo now characterizes it. It properly characterizes its more creative and sort of. I can do whatever we can do whatever we want, like freedom of creativity. It's unique and creative spirit. So I don't know. It changes. All I'm saying right now before we end this podcast is that Apple's logo fucking sucks. I will stand by that. My friend Kane here is a fucking moron. Yeah, that's about it. Got anything else to say? Kane? No? Okay. All right. Well, thank you everybody for listening to this beautiful podcast. And we'll catch you later on the flip side. Yellow.